Well, hello and welcome to the Modern Yin Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberley Roberts of SolefulYin, and I am so glad you're here. I want to take a moment to help you understand what this space is all about, especially if you're new here, and how this podcast can support you. This podcast is really geared for busy women, especially over the age of 40, who feel like they're constantly on the go, taking care of everything and everyone, but you know what? Not taking care of themselves. And over time, that can start to look like feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, tense, tired, but wired, or just disconnected. What I share here is a different approach. Instead of pushing harder or doing more, we focus on slowing down, supporting your nervous system, and creating a sense of safety in your body. Because here's the thing, when your body feels safe, everything starts to shift. Your energy improves, your mind becomes clear, your body softens, and you begin to feel more like yourself again. Inside this podcast, you'll find simple practices using Yin Yoga, acupressure, reflexology, breath work, mindfulness. These are all designed to fit into what I call real life, even when you only have a couple of minutes. And if you're looking for more support, you can come and join me inside my Patreon. That's where I share full Yin Yoga classes, guided practices for emotional support, nervous system resets, and even nourishing recipes to support your overall well-being. It's really a space where you can go deeper at your own pace and in a way that feels supportive, not overwhelming. So whether you're listening while walking, resting, or just taking a moment for yourself, I'm so glad you're here because you've landed in the right place. Take a deep breath, let those shoulders soften, and let's begin. Let's dive into a topic that's really on my heart right now. The relationship between menopause, anxiety, and your nervous system. Get ready. We're going deep today. There's something that a lot of women experience during menopause that can feel confusing and honestly a little unsettling. Anxiety. An anxiety that can suddenly feel stronger. And you know what? What I'm about to talk about, I'm actually navigating myself right now. So as I'm recording this podcast episode, I'm sitting here with my weighted blanket on top of me, and I'm using my grounding mat because it helps calm my nervous system. And believe it or not, even though I love recording these episodes and I love recording my videos for my Patreon, there's always a little bit of anxiety along with it. So let's get to anxiety. For some, especially if you've had anxiety in the past, it can suddenly feel stronger. You might notice like you're worrying more, your mind is racing a little more, you're feeling edgy, you have trouble relaxing and letting go, you're waking up at night with anxious thoughts. Does any of that sound familiar? Because I want to tell you, if it is, you're not broken. We're going to talk about why this is happening. So for some women, this can feel especially strange because they didn't necessarily struggle with anxiety earlier in life. And that's me. You know what? Even through the whole course of my marriage to an alcoholic, I didn't feel the kind of anxiety that I feel now. I had stress, and that just felt different in my body. This anxiety that I'm feeling now, it's unsettling. I'm going to admit it, it's unsettling, but I have tools and I understand why it's happening. And I'll tell you that once you understand why it's happening, it really kind of just turns the light bulb on. So that's why I want to talk about the connection between menopause, anxiety, and your nervous system. Because there's a total relationship to this. And if you're feeling the anxiety, I want you to know you're not alone. So what a lot of women don't realize is that menopause is also a nervous system transition. A lot of women think it's just hormonal. And I'll be honest with you, in today's society, there's still not enough information on menopause. Like, a lot of women are still in the dark. Like, yeah, sure, they know they don't get a period anymore and their hormone levels drop, but for a lot of women, they don't know what's happening other than that one big physical change, right? You don't have a cycle anymore. You have a cycle, you just don't have the bleed part of the cycle anymore. But menopause is also nervous system affected, because hormones like estrogen and progesterone don't only affect production, okay? They also influence your mood, your resilience to stress. I want to say that again, your resilience and adaptability to stress. It influences your sleep, emotional regulation, the nervous system itself. So when these hormones begin fluctuating and declining, because they're meant to, okay, like we're not meant to be 75 years old and still able to, reproduce. This hormonal fluctuation and declining makes your nervous system more sensitive. It makes it more reactive. So it's less able to buffer against stress. So this is why you can easily feel overwhelmed. And sometimes, and I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes it doesn't take much to feel that overwhelm. You'll feel it, and then a couple of minutes later, you're like, why is this so overwhelming? Like, this is why. And you know what? All of this, if you're like, sometimes I can't handle the overwhelm, sometimes I can't handle the stress, it's not because you're weak. It's because your nervous system, your body, your physiological state is changing. And that brings me to the next part, which is a big part. Sleep, cortisol levels, and anxiety. Because there's a relationship there. Now, this part sucks. Sleep also becomes more fragile and fluctuates during menopause. And I know, because I will have nights where I literally sleep like a baby. I hit that pillow, I'm out within a couple of minutes, and I'm out all night. Then there's other nights where I'm like, I'm still wired, even though I decompressed during the day, and my sleep ends up being crap. And the thing is, when you sleep poorly, that dramatically affects anxiety. Okay, because when you don't sleep well, nothing works. But here's the other thing. When your sleep is disrupted, your cortisol rises. Okay? So there's more cortisol and there's more adrenaline pumping through the body. Your tolerance to stress drops. And then your nervous system, pardon me, today I got a frog in my throat. The nervous system becomes more reactive. Right? Like if there's all this cortisol shooting through your body, your nervous system picks that up. So now you're dealing with hormonal shifts, crappy sleep, and the accumulation of what I call life stress, right? Because we're not living under a rock here. We all have stress. And then the body, it starts to get a little bit more vigilant. It gets more wired. It's more easily activated. And honestly, you can be exhausted and still wired at the same time. Right? Like your body is physically exhausted, but you're like, I feel like I'm on a Red Bull or a caffeine like high because you're so wired. And then this is why the anxiety often intensifies, especially during menopause. Because your nervous system has less reserve, less gas in the tank. Okay? So hopefully this is resonating with you right now. If it is, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. Okay? Because I find this, as frustrating as it is to have anxiety at this stage in my life, I'm like, at least I know why. And now I have the tools, and we're going to talk about the tools later. But for now, let's talk about the woman who's always on. You know what I mean, right? Many women entering menopause are also carrying enormous mental and emotional load. They're caregiving, so they may still have kids, but older. They might still have parents. So I call them kind of the sandwich generation, right? They're right in the middle. They're also still working. They have relationships, right? Like aging parents, if you have aging parents, that can take a tremendous load. And if you've got teenagers, especially teenagers in this day and age with social media, oof, that can be huge. That alone. And then you got life transitions. And many women, by the time they hit menopause, they're still like high functioning women, right? Because I say high functioning because they've spent decades overriding their nervous system to keep going. Just push, push, push. And on the outside, they look like they have it all put together. And I've talked a lot about the high functioning woman in my previous podcast episodes, so make sure you go back and take a look at those. Because sometimes women don't realize they're high functioning and what it's costing them until they actually hear about it. And then they're like, hand up, going, oh yeah, no, that's me. And so menopause often becomes the season where your body says, you know what? We're done operating this way. We just can't keep doing it. And the anxiety is one of the signals, okay? Because your body is always communicating with you. This is not punishment. It's not failure. It's just feedback from your body going, you know what? We're kind of done with this. This roller coaster ride isn't fun anymore. So now that I've kind of outlaid some of the groundwork here, I want to flip the perspective and bring in Chinese medicine. Because in Chinese medicine, or what I call TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, menopause is also viewed as a major energetic transition. And this often involves 3 different organ systems, 3 different energy systems in the body: kidney, heart, liver. Okay. So when your nervous system is depleted, and has been for quite some time, and your body is under a lot of stress, symptoms like anxiety and restlessness, which are often related to the kidney organ system, insomnia, that's related to the heart, and irritability, well, guess where? Liver. These can become very noticeable, okay? And so this is why especially Yin Yoga practices are so important, because they help to regulate and nourish those systems that become so important during this stage of life. okay? Like the kidney organ system is very much tied in with your reproductive system. And I've talked a lot about this in previous episodes as well. But it's also tied in with your vitality and your longevity. It is where your vital essence, or what we call in TCM, your Jing, is stored. And we're all given a predetermined amount of Jing, okay? This essence. And once it's gone, it's game over. And I mean game over as in like life is over, okay? So you are going to naturally deplete your Jing as you age. This is normal. This is part of it. However, you can also burn it out a whole lot faster than you need to. And the beautiful thing about Yin Yoga is that it targets these energy systems. It targets all of the organ systems in the body and their relational organs, energetic systems. Because these energy channels or these energy systems run through the connective tissue and the fascial layers in your body. And when you're hanging out there in a Yin Yoga pose, depending on the pose you're in, you're stimulating these energetic channels, helping it to come back into balance. Think of it again, like the energetic channels are kind of like garden hoses. And when things are out of balance, it's like kinks in a hose. Okay? So Yin becomes a vehicle, a tool, not to force the body to shift and change, but to support it. And this is where I start to really emphasize the use of props in your Yin practices. Now, I'm very flexible. I'm uber flexible. I'm hyper flexible. So it takes a lot for me to feel a physical stretch. But here's the thing. Whether you feel the physical stretch or not, the energetic component is still happening. Okay? So I prop more because it's not because I want to feel less physically. It's because I really want, at this stage in my life, I really want to support these organ systems. So I give them all the support they need, which means the props. And what actually truly helps is this modern yin approach, is what I call it, okay? We're supporting the body more. We're not trying to fix because we're not broken. We're trying to support the nervous system differently, okay? And this is a game changer. Again, at this point in your life, when you're in menopause, like you want to be done with the pushing. So things like Yin Yoga help. But you know what? I'm also a huge lover, especially in the last little while, of breath work, of acupressure, and restorative sleep practices. But also food. This is a big part of why I've put recipes on my Patreon, because it's not just about relaxing and restoring. Food is nourishment. Food is medicine. And when you're in menopause, your body needs different food. So just as a little FYI, if you haven't checked out my Nourish Your Body collection on my Patreon, absolutely go and take a look at that, because every week I put in new recipes. I put in one recipe a week, and then not only do I give you the recipe, but I actually talk about why this helps your nervous system. Okay? So we also want just a slower pace of life when we're getting older, right? And when we add in all of these components, like good food, slowing down, sleep practices, acupressure, meditation, breath work, Yin Yoga, the body starts to feel safer. And then anxiety starts to soften. The nervous system starts to feel safer. Now, this isn't an overnight fix. It requires the consistency, okay? That's what's important. People think, well, I'll just do this like once a week and I'm good. No, it's like I've said in previous episodes. Think of your nervous system as something that you're training. It's just like biceps. Those biceps aren't going to get defined unless you pick up the weights consistently. And I'm all about consistency. This is why I deeply support my members inside my Patreon space by giving them practices for menopause, sleep, anxiety, and nervous system regulation, because that is literally on my heart these days. It is my jam. Because you know what? I'm going through menopause. And I don't want a big bumpy roller coaster ride here. Like, I had enough of that in my previous years, decades actually. So I'm at that point in my own life where I'm like, I really want to start to support me and then support other women. Because as I said at the beginning of this episode, there's not a lot of information and research still on menopause and what women are going through. And there's also a lot of crappy information out there. There is some really good information for sure, but I I'm going to be honest with you here, this is a little side note, but I kind of feel like men got the advantage when it comes time to research. Like, let's face it, with men, one of the biggest problems they have is erectile dysfunction. And guess what research was put out? And guess what drug came out, right? Like, Viagra was the solution. A multi-million-dollar drug to help men get an erection. Now, what are they doing for women? Not enough research, not enough tools. This is why if I can find a natural approach, which is what I'm doing, this is what I'm sharing with other women. Now, I am not saying that the natural way is the only way. You have to listen to your body. And this is by no means like substitution for any medical advice that you might need during menopause, okay? What I offer on my Patreon is Yin Yoga, acupressure, calming rituals and routines, nourishing support for women that are moving through this season in their life, okay? It's meant to support. And honestly, like, menopause isn't something that you get through. It's a transition to be supported through, right? Big difference there. So if anxiety has felt louder during menopause, I want you to know, hopefully by this episode, that you understand why. Because it's your body that's adapting. It's not that you're broken. I mean, when you got your period, when you were, 12, 13 or whatever, you didn't say you were broken back then. It was like, oh, your mother, well, hopefully it was your mom or somebody came to you and said, oh yes, this is what's going to happen now for the next few decades. And nobody ever thought you were broken. But all of a sudden, you're going through menopause and it's like, now you're broken. No, you're not. It's just your body is adapting. Your nervous system is recalibrating. And this is a season of life where you just need a little bit more support, and there's nothing wrong with that. You need a life that has more rest, more regulation, more compassion. This is the modern yin approach. It's where stillness does the real work. And I'm going to leave you with this. Menopause is not just a hormonal transition. It's a nervous system transition. And the nervous system needs to be supported during this transition. So, I have a little something for you. On my Patreon, I have a 10-day Ground and Glow menopause program. Now again, this is just meant to support. It's not as a substitute for any medical advice, but this program is based on traditional Chinese medicine, and it incorporates a mindset masterclass. There are, I'm going to call them beauty rituals. There are, of course, Yin Yoga practices in there as well, and a few other really insightful tidbits. And during the month of May, this program has been unlocked on my Patreon for free. So if you are listening to this and you're in menopause, go get on my Patreon. It's free to join, and go to the Ground and Glow Reset 10-day program. Binge it, watch it, enjoy it, soak it up, and I'm here to support you on this journey. If today's episode supported you in any way, the next best step is to come practice with me. Inside my Patreon, I share simple Yin Yoga, acupressure, reflexology, and nervous system practices designed for busy women who want to feel calm, grounded, and back in their bodies without needing a ton of time. You'll also find full classes, guided practices, and even nourishing recipes to support your well-being. Until next time, take a deep breath, slow things down, and take care of you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for pressing play today.